Okay, with that, ready for the Q&A, questions and answers, and we're going to hold it to whatever time we got left, and they'll move the mic up there. If you guys could line up, and we'll get the resources around the room to answer your questions. So Emily here probably needs a mic, so take a mic to her, and we'll take her question first. Okay. Go ahead, Emily.
Thank you, Bharat. So I just wanted to say, my question is, why did the police stop me from going to Kalapana on Wednesday night? I live here in 2 months for 62 years. I was born here in Pahoa, raised in Opiikau. When I was 18, I moved back to Pahoa. And I have 1 land in Steeveville and 1 house. And my ancestors are buried Kalapana and Opiikau. I felt offended, yeah. And I remember Eileen O'Hara was at my hale where I lived with my nieces. And she was on the phone with brother. Talmadge, how you say your name? Talmadge. So, and when Eileen was talking to him, I said, tell him where you at. I'm here with Emily Naiole. And my manao to him is, I live here 5 generations. And I gotta go see my kupunas because it was Memorial Day and I needed to go down the hill. You know, and I know I've been in the hospital 1 month, 22 days. And when I came home and it was Memorial Day, I wanted to go visit my kupunas. So, to me, I feel offended, yeah? Because when I see all the white people going past me, and me, the poe Hawaiian, no can go, all my kai, yeah? So, brother, and you know what Talmadge told me on the telephone? That I could, but it's about mixed communication. The policeman had power, and his badge and his uniform had power. So to me, I felt like it really wasn't his fault, but you know, I feel like I gotta go find the law, and I gotta make problems because I'm not gonna tolerate this kind of stuff. I was the city council lady of Puna for 4 years. I worked really hard, yeah. Maybe the man don't know who the hell I am, but my ancestors are the Kealohas and the Makuakanes, and I'm really proud of who I am in my Puna. So if you don't know me and you feel that I'm a jerk because I'm sharing my mana'o, I have to share it, yeah, because I feel offended. And so I'm glad they will use wisdom, and tomorrow we can go down, because I called Eileen's office and I said, you better do something about it, because I'm not going to put up with this stuff any longer, yeah? So Akua said, Emily, you tell the truth. And the thing was, this past Friday when I was at Black Rock, one Haole man was telling how he went through, and he was so proud, yeah? And I was over there, I could hear him. So I got really mad, because the poe Hawaiian no can get through, but the Haole man was drinking. He said he wouldn't get through. So again, Talmadge, is not your fault. It's about mixed communication. And so I like to tell you that. Thanks.
So no excuses. This is a pretty big operation. Like Steve Brantley told you, we're dealing with stuff all the way from Kilauea Summit down here. We got a big operation going on. Time to time, there's going to be miscommunication. But everything we do is for safety. Okay, next question.
Hello, everybody. I've been a resident of North Kapono Street for about 40 years, and I know we're trying to be good by going into the cordoned off areas and doing exactly what the civil defense tells us to do. Would there make a difference if we did more to help the civil defense to help us stay in our homes? Like, what if we put the air control or air quality meters in our yards, more help to the neighborhood watch? I would be proud to join civil defense if that would help. I would be right there on the ground working for you. Maybe a conditional use permit. I mean, like the national parks have. That was it. I mean, if we could do anything to move back, let me know. Thank you.
You know, we hear you. We understand. You know, to live in your own place is definitely, you know, best place to be. But like I said earlier, we're looking out for your safety. And, you know, I talked to a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people want to get back into their houses, but a lot of people, they see the inundation, the gas inundation, the impacts. It's not like it was before. It's not comfortable like it was before. And as long as that volcano is going off and there's a pretty severe potential for the flow to break loose, the inundation would be so quick, by the way I see that thing flowing, by the way the volcano flows, that it's too big of a risk. And so we're watching it, and we're making sure we're evaluating all the time. USGS, Hawaii Volcano Observatories, they've brought people from all over the country, all over the world, and they're working, they're modeling, they're using that education, their experience to help us out. And I think our decisions are sound. You know, you're definitely welcome to come join our community emergency response teams. You know, they're a big part, and I thank them for everything they're doing. But you know, you can serve us that way and serve your community as well. Thank you.
So my question is are we safe in Lower Puna? And the plates being removed, is that something that's a reason for the plates being removed? Are we safe down there? I mean, you're saying that you're opening it up and letting it go. I see Opikau's blocked off, Leilani's blocked off, Black Sand's not, Kalapana and on around. I mean, so it's kind of seems like you're picking and choosing which areas are being blocked off. And am I safe in Black Sands? There's Pele here, there's earthquakes constantly. Are we safe? Are we all safe from this road to that road and around? That's my question.
Okay, good question. You know, some of it's going to have to be your choice as well. Now that we've got several access points for you, it's not limited to that 130 with all the cracks on it. So that was one of the decisions. If folks that are comfortable with the gas levels, with the fallout, you know, whether you can put in the mitigation filters for your water system. You can lock up your houses as far as keeping the gases out. You know, just speaking from experience, living up in Volcano from 2008, we had to deal with that. Like I said earlier in past meetings, you learn to watch the forecast. You close your house up ahead of time. If you can't handle it, you know, you leave the area, go drive, or go down the road. Sometimes a swath, the steam plume is, or the gas plume is so narrow, you can go to the next block and get out of it. Yeah. In the worst case situations, the people had to move out of Volcano because they couldn't handle it. But, you know, we're looking out for safety for you guys. But,
Is there going to be like, I mean, if something were to go down, lower rift of the plates, I mean, is there going to be a siren? Are helicopters going to be deployed? I mean, how are we going to, like, be prepared? Like you said, I mean, we can only be so prepared until we're inundated. So like you said.
Right, so you guys have sirens down in Kalapana, and I know there's some we try to improve the connectivity as far as cell phones, so you can receive text, email, and so forth to the Seaview area. So you can get our texts and our alerts. And so we'll do that, and always, as always, we go door to door if we need to in the remote areas. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I also live in the uninhabitable area, and are anxious to get back. Actually, we are about 3/4 through the way of building a house there and unable to finish. And I attended the town hall meeting the other day. I saw the lawyers in the morning and the politicians in the afternoon, and I needed at least a week rest after that. But I thought I heard that you wanted to see 6 months of consistent activity by the volcano before any boundaries would be changed. Was that true? Or did I?
In previous events, that was the decision with the mayor and USGS, 6 months time frame.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's gonna have to be event by event that you look at it.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to be so arbitrary that it could be, you know, perhaps a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, but we've got some. I also think I heard that before any determination of condemnation or whatever, there would be a hearing before that was determined. Is that correct?
I'm not sure about the specific process, but it's a pretty rigorous process. It goes through many reviews at many levels.
Okay.
So it's not just one stroke of the pen that's going to do it.
Okay.
It takes a lot of planning and so forth. So,
Okay.
and then we have a lot of options on the table, and so you know, it's not just one solution.
Okay, so two things. First, I just want to make an announcement. Those who are still looking for rentals, USDA applications are in back, and then with me, there are 8 units. They are over in Pepekeo, and they will expedite it for lava evacuees. So put your FEMA number on the application form. We only had 2 applications from last time. This is in Pepekeo. We need it as soon as possible because USDA does have a wait list, but they're putting that wait list aside for lava evacuees. So do that, okay? Right there and back, thank you. Second thing, sorry, I do have an actual question. So yesterday there was a civil defense alert message, and I understand after talking to Department of Health, and I don't know whether or not they're here.
Yes.
Thank you. That it was upon Department of Health's request that the alert level on SO2 was alerted as elevated levels. However, when I went to Civil Defense yesterday, whoever it was I talked to, I believe it was Josh, refused to tell me what that level was because the Department of Health SO2 monitors at Pahoa High School was really screwed up. It read as high as 300 something, and it read over 251 parts per million. Ikaika Marzo said it was 3 or 4, which is 100 times less than what the Department of Health SO2 monitors were saying. And I never got a response from Civil Defense except until I called Department of Health that it was in fact in error. So 1, when did you folks find out it was in error? 2, why wasn't there a notice sent out to the rest of us? Because a lot of us were sick. You know, a lot of us, I mean, I know a bunch of people closed down shops. I know Puhonua Opuna closed down. And I was telling people to lock themselves, or if they can leave the area, do, because I was looking at the Department of Health site saying 300 parts per million. So 1, whether or not there's error, and 2, why wasn't there an all clear sign so that people who left could come home? So those are my questions.
Well, we're still tweaking the system. There was a monitor that gave that high reading, but actually that reading was came out in a different calibration. It was part per billions instead of part per million. And so that's what is explained to me. As far as the all clear, I understand that. But what I was getting to earlier, we put out the message for those folks that there was going to be high levels. If you need to leave the area, leave, or if you need to secure in place, secure in place. This is all a learning curve in this lower Puna area. Everything, all of this was experienced in Volcano already. You guys never got it before, so you guys are going through it for the first times. You'll see, although trades are supposed to be blowing 90% of the times, you're going to get slack wind, and it's going to inundate you guys. So the University of Hawaii site, the VMAP site, it'll give you the forecast. Anytime you hear the weather people talk about Kona winds, you're going to get inundated. Trades are your friends back in Pahoa.
If you guys are going to say elevated levels, please let us know what the levels are, because we're looking at 3 different types of sites, and the EPA site, basically referred to the Department of Health site, which was an error. And there wasn't a problem for many months, because there are people who are tracking it until yesterday. Okay, so we didn't expect it to be an error, okay? Second thing is, if you're gonna say to leave, elevated levels, please let us know when it's actually okay to come back. Thank you.
Yeah, a little high. Okay, my question base is, I live in Lanipuna. I'm one of the last 3 houses in Lanipuna, plus there's 6 more houses below me. Now, my question is, there's no access there, and there's not supposed to be anybody in that area, yet there has been. My gates were cut, everybody's gates were cut, the locks were gone, people got into the houses. It would seem there's boats coming into Poiki, they're not being monitored. And there doesn't seem to be anybody down there to monitor. I'm wondering if National Guard would be posted down there. I know they're worried about safety, but you have an LZ right there in that parking lot. You can get everybody out in a hurry. And they're also walking across the lava from Kalapana to come in. Now, I don't know who's doing it and who's doing what, but I can leave my house, but if I can't get in, I don't want anybody else getting in. And I'm not, and then on top of that, if we do get in there and it's our house, we're gonna get fined $500 for being trespassing, as I understand it. And I don't know who's responsible for that fine. And if they're gonna fine people, then get rid of the ones that aren't supposed to be there. Or at least ask them to stay in their own damn house and not visit everybody else's. That's it.
The police are aware of what's going on. They're taking action. Residents can make access. I know some have gone in by boat, others are preparing to go in by helicopter, and some have already. So if you want to go to your house and you got the means, you just let us know so we can clear the airspace and we can make that happen.
So you're saying we can get permission to get to our house? Because nobody's told me that before.
No, it's a voluntary evacuation area. So people have been going in there to check on their houses.
Okay. Well, that's, if somebody's down at the dock taking names and at least asking why are you here? Do you belong here, and where are you going? How long are you going to be there? That would help a lot. At least they wouldn't be wandering around saying, well, I'm looking for a stray dog. I mean,
So our protocol now has been, if on our flights we see somebody, we'll pick up some officers and drop them off. So we've had situations already where we've made contact with people, cited them for loitering in the eruption area, and got their information, see what they're doing. So we are making contact with people in there.
Okay, that loitering, are they actually living in the area, or are they people that just are looking to take pictures or just wandering around aimlessly?
You're gonna have to talk to the police on that one.
Yeah, they're not much in talking to me.
That's okay. All right, thank you. I know that there's been a lot of people who've lost a lot more than Nana Valley, Paradise Park, but I have a friend who lives in Nana Valley, and the SO2 is extremely high. And yesterday, when the air was flowing towards HPP, up on 20th, I have a friend who was choking from it. And I wonder when the monitors are going to be placed down in those areas, in HPP, and so that we have some accurate knowledge of what's going on.
As far as HPP, let me let Department of Health address that stuff. This is Aaron Ueno with the State Department of Health.
Thank you, Talmadge. In regards to HPP, right now there's no plans for putting one down there, but I'll take that consideration back. The Department of Health is picking up 10 more stationary monitors. We have locations for them across the island, and we're picking up about 12, I think, these, what you call these temporary monitors. So yes, I understand about HPP, and I was down here yesterday looking at the levels. Haas was high, Nana Valley was up, the community center was up, and also Pahoa High School. My understanding was that it was an unusual event from the National Weather Service. There was a cloud cover or something above Fissure 8. There was an inversion. Moisture was coming off of the lace plume, and there was no winds. So basically the SO2 and the particulate levels stayed in this area.
So one more thing is, why would Nana Valley not be considered in the danger zone? Because of the fumes, the gases.
The whole adjacent area is considered susceptible to fumes. So we put out our messages, like yesterday's message said, Pahoa and the lower East Rift Zone. That includes the Nana Valley area as well. Okay, thank you.